I start with football, and I start with a topic that, hilariously enough, has been on this radio station for over a decade. But as I bring it up to you today, it's the most realistic it's ever been. It's the most realist it's ever been. And that's the idea with the New York Giants having a head coaching vacancy. And according to Josina Anderson, Bill Belichick is, he would come back to the league if this would actually be the moment where it works.
Right.
Bill Belichick going to the organization he loves the most and being the adult in the room. I've heard Tommy say that, and I've heard a lot of Giant fans say that. I want an adult in the room. I was listening to the Lug Hour last night, and he said, you used that phrase 7 times, adult in the room. Now, even though he may be dating a child, I kid.
Right.
Is Bill Belichick the adult in the room in this moment in Giants history?
I mean, of course he is the adult in the room. The question, though, is he past his time, and does he have the same kind of energy and influence, I think is the biggest word we're going to use, on these younger athletes? So think about his Tom Brady dynastic era. Tom Brady never made the most money in the NFL at quarterback.
Kind of crazy.
It was, almost half as much as some of the top players in the league. Think about the top quarterbacks in the NFL now. The ones that aren't even elite and going to the Hall of Fame, like Dak Prescott, who held out and ultimately makes $60 million a year. Brock Purdy, who threatened that kind of a holdout. He actually had foot injury, so he hasn't been living up to his contract that he got. But the quarterback in this league, and same with all the other high-level skill positions, including defensive, they want to get paid, dude.
Right.
I don't think that Bill Belichick is going to be okay with an individual-first mentality of the athlete that is in the NFL these days.
But he's not that far removed from coaching that individual first athlete. I mean, he coached in 2023.
I understand.
It's only been 2 seasons removed from coaching.
You remember what happened. Tom Brady asked for a 30-something million. I think it was $37 million, if my memory is correct, and it deteriorated immediately.
But don't you think that was more and
the relationship, not his play? He was still great.
The relationship, and also Bill doing something he had done his entire career, which is making the gamble of, I'm going to get rid of you now before it gets bad. Yeah. And that worked a lot of times with veteran players over the years. It obviously didn't work with Tom Brady. We all know what happened. But
I mean, think about it. Even though he's no longer here, they replaced him pretty quickly. I mean, it was painful for a couple of years with the Cam Newton and Mac
first
Jones.
It was Mac Jones, and it was successful right away when they made the playoffs.
But think about it. What was it, 3 years?
It was 3 years.
And then they drafted fantastic, because that's what Bill Belichick, one of the greatest football minds that we've ever seen, recognizes and brings in a kid who's a dog in a way. I mean, I think a lot of that is his upbringing, meaning Drake May's upbringing. He's got 3 brothers or 2 brothers. It's all competitive, and you want somebody who can fight for you at the quarterback position, and they nailed it. And not too soon after Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback or greatest winning quarterback that we've ever seen, left and went to Tampa. So you got to give him credit.
Oh, absolutely. When I look at Bill, I don't dismiss him because of his last 4 years in New England.
Is it age then?
It's not even age, because I'm not afraid of age. I dismiss him for 2 reasons.
Jordan Hudson?
Yes. No, I'm not even. I'm not joking, and I almost feel dirty saying that.
I feel like this is this isn't corroborated by the Jay Glazers of the world, and I'm not knocking Josina Anderson, but she's new in this breaking news world, and so she's got to build a track record especially with something like this. This feels to me like Josina Anderson has a relationship with somebody close to Bill, and it's a teaser, right? Bill kind of wants to get back in the league. Let's see what the reaction is. But in order for Bill to make the jump back to the NFL, there's got to be willing participants on the other side.
I think there may be, because I think... I mean, look around the league. If you have a coaching vacancy, would you not consider the greatest head coach in the history of football?
I mean, the immediate most prescient result is not good.
Because of Pete Carroll?
Yes.
But Pete Carroll isn't Bill Belichick.
And Carolina.
Yeah. No, look, if this was 4 years ago, I would say to you calmly, he's the greatest of all time. You hire him. What scares me, and one of which is probably unfair, but I'm just being honest, I don't want a circus. Like, if I'm the New York Giants, if I'm John Mara, and I'm bringing a new head coach, you know what I want? I want to win, and I want to just do it kind of quietly. And it feels like the circus around Bill Belichick, it just, I wouldn't want it.
I actually don't know if it would be a circus.
You don't think so?
No.
Everything around his girlfriend and her demands, and she's suing Paulo Torre and all that crap. Like, do we really want to get involved in that world?
Only if she's the issue. I don't think Bill Belichick will be the issue. And at some point, we'll have to just stop listening to what's coming from her camp. Obviously, it's a joint camp, but Bill Belichick, he doesn't want the circus. He just wants cohesiveness, buying into all the little things, and great teamwork. And he's going to have to build a staff, which may be harder than it previously has been because he always had Josh McDaniels just waiting in the rings to put together a phenomenal offense every single season with Tom Brady. So who is that?
Yeah, remember he had Joe Judge leading the offense, I think the last year he was there.
Right, and look, we know the reason that Joe Judge and Matt Patricia got those jobs is simply because he didn't have to pay them. Right, they're making whatever the offset was from their previous fired jobs, and so Bill could get them cheap. But if you're going to get a real offensive coordinator and not screw the future of Mac Jones like he did when he made Joe Judge the offensive coordinator, two defensive or special teams and a defensive guy with Matt Patricia, you screwed Mac Jones. And Mac Jones got pissed off about it, rightfully so. He's justified. But he tanked the season, but he ultimately got the quarterback that he wanted.
I know.
It wasn't obviously him. He's not benefiting
no,
it. But
I know. That's the funny part.
He went through the process to go get a quarterback. I mean, we talk about tanking and how it sucks and we hate it. Let's be real. The Patriots did it absolutely right. I don't know of a tanking situation that worked out as perfectly as the New England Patriots.
Well, sometimes it works. I mean, I think the more times than not, it doesn't necessarily work.
It never works.
But in this case, it did. And what's funny is what you said, that Bill didn't get the benefit from it. But the other thing that scares me about Belichick, and I think this is very, very important for the Giants or any other team. Now, I'd have an interview. I'd interview anybody.
Yeah,
I mean, why not? There's no negative to an interview. Is what scared me about Bill's last 4 or 5 years in New England is that he was making the personnel decisions, and he was making bad ones. And so I don't trust him.
It's like he had lost the pulse a little bit.
Yeah. Like, I think he's a great coach, and I'm not worried about his ability to coach up men and take this defense, which has a lot of talent, and making it better than being 30th in the league. But I don't want him picking players, and that then goes back to, well, is Joe Schoen picking the players? Is Joe Schoen the guy who's going to hire Bill Belichick, and Bill's going to listen to Joe as he picks the players? Like, that whole thing doesn't feel real.
Right.
That doesn't feel like that's a marriage that would work. So it's those two reasons, the circus around them, the Jordan Hudson stuff. No offense to her. It's more, I just, if I'm a Giant fan, I don't want to deal with that crap.
Yeah. You don't want it to get in the way. Now, there's a good chance, I mean, honestly, because college is different, there's a good chance that it's nothing, that it's just ignorable. It's grown men playing in the NFL, not giving a crap about, a 25-year-old girlfriend who does adult cheer competitions. Like, you might not even care. College, you probably care a little bit because it's such a distraction, and you see it in social media and all these other things that come to disrupt you. But in the NFL, it's a business, man. These dudes, they're playing for their jobs. They're playing for, I want to be here. I don't want to get cut. I don't want to be expendable when this new coaching situation occurs. And so as much as we can knock and talk about Jordan Hudson, I think she's a non-factor, to be perfectly honest with you. She's going to be loud, and it's going to be noise, but I don't think there's any player that's going to care about her opinions on anything.
Yeah, I don't think it's a player thing. I think it's more when Bill's doing his press conferences after a Giant game. You tell me, Sean, do you think Pat Leonard's going to ask about Jordan Hudson and what she may have said or what's being reported from a day earlier?
Every single press conference.
Every single press
problem
conference.
is,
I guarantee you the Mariners, if this should happen, would exclude her from being around him.
They would have to.
Absolutely. Press conference-wise.
Yeah.
Right? She could go do whatever she wants on her own time, on social media, TikTok, Twitter, whatever. But again, in a Giants first press conference, family, faith, football, man. It's not about Jordan Hudson, period.
It's not flings, family, faith, for football and flings?
Right.
Actually, it's more than a fling now. How long have they been together?
On the record or off?
It's a while, dude. Just think about that video.
It is more than a fling,
That video, him coming out of that room.
Yeah.
Right? That was like 3 years ago.
It's funny, though, when you look at the Giant interview search that's inevitably going to happen when this season is over, you'd be doing a disservice. You'd be doing a disservice to not talk to him.
Of course.
He's the greatest of all time.
100%.
And he's got such ties to the franchise and the organization. And I certainly believe that Bill Belichick, after not getting the right job last year, and I don't think he was ever offered a job, but maybe
Yeah.
a part of that was Bill demanding control, the whole situation in Atlanta.
That's exactly what happened in Atlanta.
And I wonder if Bill now says, I don't need that. I want to coach. I don't want my career to end with a loss to the Jets. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I also think that he only knows one way to do it. He had total control, man.
So you don't think he would ever go back?
I don't think that the Maras and the Tisch family is going to give him carte blanche with the pocketbook.
No, I agree, and I wouldn't do that, is my point, because I don't trust him. But would he take a step back and say, hey, I want to finish it the right way?
But how would you do that?
Letting a general manager pick the players.
Yeah.
How does Aaron Glenn and Darren Mooney do it?
I don't think he would trust it. I really don't.
So then he may not coach again then. Because I don't think the Giants would give him that.
It depends on how desperate you are as an organization. And so we're obviously talking Giants, but any of these other organizations,
let me ask
Tennessee
you.
Titans, right? Are you desperate enough to bring in Bill Belichick?
Well, here's the question. Josina Anderson reports at least 2 NFL teams are expected to have interest in talking to Bill Belichick.
Of course. Who wouldn't?
A third
I'm surprised
team.
It's not like 6.
Right. I agree based on his resume. Who do you think those teams are? Like, to me, the Giants logically make sense because they currently have a vacancy and the ties to Bill. Right. So why wouldn't they be one of those teams that wants to talk?
Yeah, the Giants would certainly be one of them. What are the vacancies? Tennessee, the Giants.
That's it right now.
That's it. There's speculation.
Everything else is us speculating
around Atlanta.
Yeah.
with Raheem Morris.
But I don't think that's going to happen after he didn't get the job a couple years ago, or last year, whenever that was.
So right now it's small. It's a small window that he's peeking into with the NFL teams. And so I got to be honest, it almost feels premature to be talking about this with Bill Belichick because there's not enough exits available.
Well, it's not premature for the Giants.
Of course, but
we're talking about every coordinator in football.
But don't we all agree that it's not an ideal fit for the New York Giants?
I don't know if we all agree. I could tell you how I feel, and certainly I can tell how you feel.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it. You clearly wouldn't do it?
No.
Sean, would you want Bill Belichick to come back, coach the New York Giants?
Absolutely not.
Why?
Because I'm going to be an ageist. I think that this team needs a guy that I think can be here for the next 8 to 10 years, and you should be hiring with that. Don't hire with the idea of, well, just get us off the ground for 2 years and hand it over. Also, I think Bill Belichick, if he is taking a job like that, just as was rumored with North Carolina, he's probably trying to set his son up for a future job, too. I need to worry about us and the future of the organization and not worry that a guy needs to retire in 2 years.
Now, what I am curious about, because like I said yesterday, as I was driving to Brooklyn to see the Brooklyn Nets lose to the New York Knicks, I was listening to the Lug Hour.
It was a fun game, by the way.
Yeah, it was very fun. It was fun for Noah Clowney and me, and I guess all the Knicks fans.
Drake Powell had some fun.
What's the kid, number 4? Drake Powell?
Drake Powell?
Yeah,
he was impressive. But I was listening to Tommy, and Tommy said 5 times, I counted it, we need an adult in the room. I'm not even disagreeing with you, because me and Tommy are on the same page with Mike McCarthy. Would Bill Belichick be that adult in the room you have described?
Hear me out on this one. I don't know if he would take the job, but I would hire Bill Belichick to be the defensive coordinator of the Giants.
I brought that up last year, and it got shot down because why would Daboll ever create that kind of issue of having this legendary coach as the DC? And so we talked about it in that context as a way, because the point I made about that was it would rehab Bill's image to just come to the Giants, kill it as DC. Obviously, if Bill wasn't willing to take a head coaching job in which he didn't have personnel decisions, he wasn't going to be humble enough to take the DC job.
He hasn't been a DC in 30 years?
Yeah.
Right?
A long time.
That's a long time, man. That's a full career for most people. I don't think that step back is in his cards.
And I brought it up last year. It obviously went nowhere. So if we assume that that's still not in the cards, I ask you again, would you hire him as the head coach?
I would not.
Why?
Because I want Mike McCarthy, and I think Bill, the game has passed him by. It's been too long since Bill has been at the top of his game where you could look to McCarthy, who had success just recently with the Cowboys. I just think Bill, and there's a reason nobody hired Bill. He's not exactly having the greatest success in Carolina. And I think at this point, the everything that comes with him, it's just not something I want to get in bed with.
I'll be fair to Bill. I think last year, or 2 years ago, because I was with Matt Ryan. And obviously, Matt is royalty with the Atlanta Falcons. And when that situation, fired coach Bill Belichick was kind of under contract still, they were willing, they were ready to do whatever the buyout, whatever it was going to take to get Bill Belichick. And then they went through the process, and it just, I think the maximum salary that they wanted to give him, the level of control, it didn't match with what Bill wanted.
Right.
And so
that's the problem.
It just kind of died.
Yeah.
He just had a couple of interviews, and then it was like, all right, we're moving on. You're not it.
What I think is unfair to Bill.
And that's a shot to his ego.
Oh, absolutely. What I think is unfair to Bill is that if you really look at the end of his New England tenure, he had one really bad season. His last year there, in which Tiki even pointed out, there probably was some tanking going on at the end. They went 4-13.
There's no doubt there was tanking going on.
Okay, so in the 3 previous years after Tom left, in which you're in a lot of ways starting over, they went 7-9, 10-7, and made the playoffs stunningly, and then 8-9. Like, it wasn't, I'm not saying that's, amazing, but I'm also saying it wasn't horrible.
No.
Like, he really only had one bad year at the end in which Tiki's telling you they were tanking.
It was intentional.
So I don't think the criticism of Belichick's end is necessarily fair.
Yeah, this isn't about him not being able to coach. I think he can coach. I think he's honestly just feeling his way through college. It's a different animal, completely different animal. And when you watch him, he's not like engaged. He's not like dialed in. He's not yelling at guys on the sideline and coaching them up. It's like he's just taking notes, kind of just checking boxes. All right, this is what happened in that situation. We need this, that, and the other thing. He's always calm, right? It's not what you're used to with Bill Belichick. So it almost is like he's doing this, like not a tank year, but it's more like just to collect yourself year.
An evaluation year.
Yes, an evaluation about...
You use that word for me about the Mets in 2024.
Right.
Evan, it's an evaluation.
Right, and then they go on and win 100 games.
Not quite, but the NLCS.
But close, you know what I mean? But the thing with Bill, and this is a testament to him, is that I don't think he took the North Carolina job saying, I'm turning this thing around and I'm winning a national championship. I think he said, let me see if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this. Obviously, his father has a history coaching in college in North Carolina. I don't think he knows if he can do this. And so this was let me see. But if he's starting to get to the point, I think, what are they, 2-10 or whatever the heck they are? If he's starting to get to the point where he's like, I don't really like this, why not just Jordan Hudson leak this to Josina Anderson and get the little balls rolling? These aren't big, massive, like, lottery balls. This is just these little balls are rolling to make us fans and NFL organizations maybe think about him just a little bit.
Well, I think teams are thinking about him. And the question is, Giant fans, how much do you want to think about him? When we come back, we'll get your calls, 888-808-1019. And I always think it's helpful to learn from the past. Well, it's not that long ago when I asked John Mara directly about hiring Bill Belichick. Let's analyze what he said a year and a half ago and see if it points any hints towards the future.